listing presentation.
Okay.
Knock, knock. Hey, Antonio. This is Roshi. We spoke over the
Hey.
phone. We had a meeting today at 3 o'clock. It is now 3 o'clock. It's fine. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, yeah. Nice to meet you. Come in.
Perfect. And do you want me to take my shoes off?
Please, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I do this all the time at home anyway. So just put that down there. So first and foremost, thank you so much for your time, taking the time to out of your busy day to meet with me today. I'm very excited to take a look at your property. I always like to just begin by looking throughout the house just to get a better idea of the condition, the layout. Would it be okay if I just take a quick look, or would you prefer to show me around?
Um, I mean, you're the expert, so if you'd like to just take a look around, I think that's fine.
Perfect. So I'm gonna go through. So Antonio, the first thing I'm noticing that your home is tastefully furnished. So when we have offers come in, are we gonna be including these contents with the sale, or are you gonna be taking that to your next place?
Oh, I'm definitely taking this stuff.
All of it, huh?
Yeah.
Good, good. I just want to make sure. And then the second thing I wanted to ask you, I know we spoke over the phone briefly the other day, was that you're not really looking to do any major remodels or modification to the property before I start to bring buyers through. You just want me to help you sell the house just as it is, correct?
Yeah, I'm not trying to spend any more money here. I'm just trying to make some money and get on to my next venture.
Understood, understood. And then I know you said you did some remodels a couple years ago. You want to just quickly show me that around?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So here in the basement we had this crack filled over here.
Okay.
Then we go upstairs and inside of the bathroom here we changed the entire tub around
Okay.
and we put a couple fixtures here inside of the kitchen.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, let me just take a note of that. I'll make sure to highlight it when we have buyers come through, okay?
Okay, sounds fair.
Awesome. Well, look, I have a much clearer idea of the layout, the condition. I appreciate you taking me around. I just want to kind of begin by going to sit down and kind of go over some questions with you. Should we go to the kitchen or should we go to the dining room?
Let's just go to the dining room.
Perfect. So we're here. So I just want to begin by asking a few quick questions, Antonio, just so we're on the same page here. Would it be okay if I just start asking you those now?
Yeah, sure.
Got it. So the first question I have for you, which I'm pretty positive I know the answer to, is that you guys have definitely decided that you're going to be selling this house, correct?
Definitely, yeah.
Right. Like meaning like you're not looking to keep it as a rental or perhaps a second home, no?
No, because I don't really want to deal with anything like that. So I just thought the best thing to do would just be sell it and just move on. Especially since I
Got it.
won't be around here because we're gonna be moving out of state.
Got it. You said to Texas, right? If I remember correctly?
Yeah, it was Texas.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So that's definitely a decision that you've made to sell it, correct?
For sure.
Got it. And then that leads me to my second question, which I'm pretty positive I know the answer to as well, is that you want to position the property price-wise to sell. I mean, you definitely don't want to give it away, that's for sure. At the same time, you're not looking to have it sit on the market, 6, 7 months just testing the market. That's not what you're trying to do, right?
No, actually, I was hoping that we could, be in and out in around like 2 or 3 months. That seemed kind of realistic to me. So
Okay. Got it. And when you say like 2, 3 months, are we talking like sell the house by 2, 3 months? You want to be in Texas by 2, 3 months from today?
I wanted to be in Texas 2 or 3 months from today.
Okay, so we gotta move pretty quickly then.
Oh yeah,
Got it,
yeah.
got it. I'll make sure I take a note of that. And then the third question I have for you is, provided what I sent to you over email, I'm imagining you took a look at our track records or reviews online on marketing packages. Have you guys already decided that you would like for me to help you with the sale?
I actually didn't get a chance to view it. I've been busy for, today and the last couple days, so
Got it.
it's just been hard for me to get around to it.
No problem. I know you're a busy guy, so we know that's exactly what we're going to go over today, right? As I promised, we're going to go over the price, right? Who can get you the best price? We're going to go over the commission. We're going to look for the best commission structure, and then the marketing package. So we'll go over that step by step as we go through. Does that sound
Okay.
good? Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to point out that that is my intention, though, today. That provided what I say makes sense to you, Antonio. and you feel absolutely comfortable and confident that I can help you sell your home, then I have my team, my staff, and myself ready to go to work for you today. And I actually have all the paperwork with me so we can get started right away. Is that fair?
Yeah, I do have a couple more interviews to do today. So I do want to make sure that I give them the opportunity because I want to make sure that I am picking the right people.
100%. I mean, you're really doing your due diligence, right, by interviewing a couple of other agents. And just curious though, when you do decide to select the agent that's going to be helping your home, what specifically are you looking for in that agent?
Somebody who's extremely proactive because, like I said, I do want to get out of here and in Texas in around like 2 or 3 months. I do think it's possible. I have seen people around this area sell their houses pretty quickly
Okay.
and for a good price. And, that's why, I think I can get my house sold for a similar price,
Hmm.
especially with all the upgrades, maybe even a little bit more.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I'm just looking for a lot of proactiveness.
Got it. So proactive, aggressive marketing approach. And it sounds like
Mhm.
being in Texas in a certain time, which you said about 2 to 3 months, is the key part in this whole process, correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's like the most important thing to me.
Understood. And thank you so much for sharing that, Antonio. And before we go into looking at homes that I brought with me today in our data, I just wanted to review when we spoke on the phone, you wanted to list the property around 1 million. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I think that's a fair price for my home, with
Got
all
it.
the upgrades and everything.
Hmm. And then you have about like 400,000 left on the property, give or take. Is that right?
And yeah, and equity, yeah.
Yeah. In equity. So you owe about 600?
Correct.
Got it. And then the main reason you wanted to move to Texas is for a new job. Was that still the case?
Well, we do have, some friends out there. But yeah, the job is important as well. So, we just kind of thought that it'd be a right time for it. And, if we can get out there within 2 or 3 months, then, my
Mhm.
job is secure and, I won't have any issues.
Got it, got it. So what I'm hearing is not just a job change, but like a change in lifestyle, being close to your friends, right?
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay, wonderful. So we're going to go into what I brought with me today called a comparative market analysis, right? Which I'll also email to you beforehand. I know you didn't have the time to take a look at it, but what we're going to do together as a team is really looking through this data and really what we're trying to do is get a not a pinpoint to the penny price per se for your home, but more like a tight, realistic range as to what's reasonable based on what the buyers and sellers are agreeing upon. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, that does make sense. I
Okay.
mean, I obviously want to get out of here in the time frame that I'm looking for. So,
Right, 100%. So we're going to be looking at two pieces of information. The first one is going to be the active unsold listings, which are homes that's on the market and not selling, right? And it's going to be very important information for you because your neighbors have done us a pretty big favor. Do you happen to know what that is?
not really.
So the good news is they tested the price and what's not working for them. So we can learn from this information. Okay, so we're obviously going to be looking at the price that's on the market for, but let's also look at the days on the market, which is going to tell us a little bit clearer story of how the house is doing. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. The second thing that we're going to be looking at is what I like to call reality, right? These are homes that have actually sold in your neighborhood. And we're going to be looking at, to make sure it's similar in condition, similar in size, make sure it's similar in the location to your home, and that sold in the past, I would say 6 to 12 months. Okay. Again, by looking at these two pieces of information, we're not going to get a pinpoint to the penny, more a tight, realistic range. And from there, it's going to come down to strategy, right? How we're going to price the home strategically is going to make a huge difference for you, especially if you want it to be in Texas in a strict time frame.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sound
makes
good?
total sense.
So in terms of pricing strategy, there's really two pricing strategies, right? One is you start a little bit higher, leaving a little room to negotiate, which is at your option, at your disposal. The only challenge that you might see is it may take a little bit more time. Okay. And you were kind enough to share with me 2 to 3 months is what you're looking for in terms of timeline, correct?
Yeah, I actually have a strict timeline. Yeah.
So just something to think about, but it is your option. The other pricing strategy is based on what we're going to see with the comparative market analysis. You either can list it like on par with the market or just not, if just like a little bit under, just to get as many people through your door. And what typically happens is that these buyers start bidding over each other. And that's what we want, because that puts you in a control where you can choose which buyer you want to move forward with. So again, these are your two options. You ultimately you decide what's best for you and your family, and whatever you decide to do, Antonio, I'll support you 100%. There?
Okay. Okay. Well, you are the expert. What would you recommend?
Let's just say we looked at it all together.
Okay.
So based on this, data that we have here, I would say on the higher end would be somewhere like 1,050,000. The second option, right? On par, or if not, a tad bit little. I would say like 975 will be like somewhere around that range, will be a number where like people will come through your door and potentially see that bidding war happening. Like under 1 million, but not too far down. 975, 980 is somewhere in the ballpark of uh, putting it on the market to get that kind of that activity.
Okay. So if people are searching between
Mhm.
1 million and 1,000,002, then
Mhm.
they wouldn't necessarily see my property then. Is that correct?
It's a good question. Um, well, look, you can always. No, shit. I'm sorry. That threw me off. That's a good one, though. I'm sure someone that's looking for 1 million to 1,000,002 would not put their range at 1 million to 1,000,002. They would probably put the search up to 1,000,002.
Hey, ask questions instead of telling them. So say, hey, if you were a buyer and like go with that frame. So like if you were a
Okay.
buyer in today's marketplace,
Uh-huh.
and then you finish it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Ontario, let me ask you this. If you were a buyer, not a seller, and you're looking for a home to purchase, let's just say in Texas, and your budget is at, let's just say 1.2, would you put a range from on the bottom line, or you just look at something up to 1,000,002?
Mm, well, I guess it kind of depends. I might do a couple ranges, so I might end up finding it at some point.
Right? And if you see five home, let's just say 1.2, 1.2, 1.1, you see 975. I mean, if you're a buyer, what would entice you to click on that property?
Yeah, so I
Probably
guess
texture.
eventually after looking in the million range and I saw something that was comparable at 975, it would really grab my attention.
You're doing it, Peter. Way to go, brother. Ask questions, not make statements, bro. People never argue with their own information. Continue.
So, based on that conversation, based on this data, where would you feel comfortable listing your property at?
Wait, so ask that again, but instead of saying like, hey, so based on this information, in terms of what's active on the market, not selling, based on what's sold and closed most recently, also keeping in mind the time frame you'd like to make this happen in and what you value most,
Mm.
what do you think we should do? Or where do you think we need to position the property price-wise in order to create value in the eyes of the buyer and make them choose your home versus competition? And then shut up.
Okay. So, Antonio, based on the information that we're seeing here today, taking the fact that you do have a very strict time frame, what do you think? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. What
Hey,
do you
good.
think?
Hey, look, this is good, bro. This is how you get better. And again, this is the part. Remember how when we were doing this, Roji, like the first part you got dialed in, bro. I can tell. You've practiced it, you've worked on it. It's great. When people ask you questions, you have to continue to keep going back to, don't slip into making statements in return.
Hmm.
Right? So, like, you see how I jumped in and I was like, nah, dude, ask him, don't tell him. And you know what's funny is even though he knows what we're doing, as you were asking him, he started smiling. You know why he started smiling? Because he was like, I see. I was blind, but now I see. Yes? All right. So that's one place to work is when people push back because it throws you off like your kind of groove sort of thing, right? So that's that's like one place for improvement. The second place for improvement is right here, right? So like, and what came up for me is like, well, think about this together as a team because if your time frame is you want to be sold in the next, I don't know, 60 to 90 days, what that means is, gosh, like, wait, let me think about this. 30, 45. Yeah, like we have to be under contract in the next month to a month and a half because it usually takes another 45 to 60 days to close. Did you know that?
Oh.
And then him being like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. So then you're like, okay, now let me ask you this. What would happen on the outside chance if we were still sitting here 90 days from now and the home wasn't sold? What would that mean for you and your family?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good line.
Yeah, I know it is. You don't need to tell me, brother.
But can you repeat that one more time?
Tell me this. Like, what would happen on the outside chance if we were still sitting here 60 to 90 days from now and the home was not sold? What would that mean for you and your family? And then shut up. Because let me ask everybody on this call a question. What are people more motivated by, pain or pleasure?
Pain.
So by me asking him that question, what is he about to tell me?
No.
Come on, team. I know it's early in the morning and we got agents on the call here, but I need you to use your brains. Huh?
He's about to tell you.
He's about to tell me the pain he would experience if he was still on the market 60 to 90 days from now.
Yeah.
Yeah? Now, how much more compelling and influential is it for him to tell me his pain versus me to tell him what his pain is going to be? Yup. So now that he tells me, Roji, oh yeah, like that would really not be good. Now I'm going to dig. Let's say he just says that won't be good. Am I going to be like, wonderful? No, I'm going to be like, well, I'm curious, Antonio. Tell me a little bit more about that. Why wouldn't it be good? Why? I want to fully expose the pain. Yes? Right. And he's like, oh man, I'd have to leave and my wife would have to stay back and she won't be happy about that. And we would disconnect the family and blah, 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 and this and that. Yes? Okay. Okay, so being that that's the case, Antonio, here's my question to you. And whatever you decide, I'll support you 100%. Based on the information we just looked at together as a team, based on the time frame you'd like to make this happen in, and based on what it would mean for you if we were still here 60 to 90 days from now and the home wasn't sold, where do you think we need to position this property price-wise to ensure that not only you get the most amount we could expect to receive, you do it in the time frame that you want, so you can avoid having to deal with the consequences of still being here 60 to 90 days from now and the home's not sold? And then you know what you do, Roji?
Shut up.
You promptly shut up. Okay, because what do we want to do? Fill the air with words that have nothing, like just nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because the decision's being made in silence. So if you notice, when you started to tell him, he started pushing back. When you started asking questions and he started thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. He did ask me
he started to come to his own conclusions. He's like, oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that would probably cause me to pause if that was at 9.7. Yeah, that makes sense. And he started to smile because he knew what was happening. Does this make sense?
100%.
Yeah, so these are like mastering like the actual presentation part. That's step one, team. And if you haven't taken it seriously, you'll never be able to graduate to step two. Never. I'll never be able to be like, wait, okay, now I need to ask questions when people, like step two is like, they're going to object as you're doing it. How do I like acknowledge it and keep going without getting thrown off? Then step three is like, all right, when it comes time to make a decision, how do I ask questions to help him to self-discover where we need to be at? How do I unearth the pain? How do I bring it to the surface? See, because if you don't set the frame this way, do you know what Antonio ends up thinking? Roji just wants the lowest price possible because so he can sell it as fast as possible and make his commission. That's what he thinks. But when I set the frame properly, he's like, oh, this actually has to do with me and what I want, not what Roji wants. Now, notice too, as we were having that conversation, I said to you, hey, Antonio, just so you know, whatever you decide, I'll support you 100%. My job is to help you. It's never to talk you into doing anything. My goal here is to just really equip you with all the information that you need so you can make the decision that you feel serves you and your family best. Does that make sense to you? What do most of you guys do when it comes to price? You want to fight with people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
I study homes and prices every day. Therefore, stop it.
Yeah. No, I had an agent in our team told me like sometimes I don't run my CMA. I'm like, the fuck you don't run your CMA?
What did they mean? Like what? Like they don't
Like,
even...
oh, like, I asked them like what price they want to list it at, and I thought there's the same price, so I just threw the contract at them.
Yeah. Hey, great job. That is a recipe for not making any money. Hey,
Because I'm thinking like,
no, but be
reflect
mindful.
back.
Hey, guys, listen to me. Be mindful. What I mean by that is like you want to be mindful of who you give access to your thinking. Okay, you want people that are believable. Believable means that they've produced an outcome you wish to produce consistently over an extended period of time. They didn't have 1 year and got a top producer award because they sold 10 homes. Yeah? So like consistently over time, and that's who you want to give access to your thinking. I would never, ever in a million years, and look, I sold 2,000 homes in my career, 80% listings sold. That's believable, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I would never, ever go on a listing appointment without doing homework. It's like, hey, the doctor's saying, hey, I want to do, like, you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, my head hurts. He's like, yeah, let's do brain surgery. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, Roji, I would continue to keep working on is just, again, the first part's dialed in, bro. It's smooth. You can tell you've been practicing. He was following along. It's in when he starts to push back.
Mm.
And the process of helping him to self-discover by asking him questions.
Yeah.
That's the place where there's an opportunity for growth. You know what I mean?